Welcome back to my channel where we talk anything about Outriders. We are 10 days into the game and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I am addicted. Since the demo, I have been playing as a Trickster. I chose to play it first because of the swordplay in the trailers. I don't even know if I have an average aim, but seeing the Trickster cool skill sets allowed me to imagine how far I can take an Anomaly power build. I am currently standing at challenge tier 15 as of this time I made this video, but I haven't completed it yet. My gears are currently at level 49 and I haven't jumped back into the fray to get everything to level 50 because, you know, responsibilities. But that's okay because what I'm going to share is my Anomaly power build, the skills that I use, the gear attributes, the skill tree that I recommend, and most importantly, the mods necessary to carry us through the end game. Before we start, I just want to say that all of this is just my opinion based on my experience in playing as an Anomaly power build Trickster, and the following recommendation are not in itself absolute. You can always choose how to play your Outrider however you want. Let's start with the skills. There's the sword-wielding Reaver. There are only two skills that are essential to success. 1. Temporal Blade. 2. Cyclone Slice. The third one, I leave it up to you, but for the purpose of this video, I choose Hunt the Prey. Temporal Blade is easily your go-to damage output dealer to clear out NPCs standing alone or in groups. As you slice with the Temporal Blade, your enemies become paralyzed, slowed, and can interrupt casting enemies. If modded correctly, you can either deal more damage or mitigate more damage from enemy NPCs. Cyclone Slice is the skill that allows you to deal continuous damage and can interrupt as they are being hit for 5 seconds. While this skill is in motion, you can move your character to your desired position either to chase, corner, or to evade incoming attacks. As with your Temporal Blade, you can either cause more mayhem or tank incoming damage better than when you are not using the skill. Your third skill depends on your playstyle, but in this build, I choose Hunt the Prey simply because of the added mobility to engage and as an escape mechanism. Also to get rid of this annoying insect while I restore my shield and HP. Gears. This Anomaly power build revolves around 3 gear attributes. Obviously, Anomaly power, skill life leech, and cooldown reduction. Anomaly power is your bread and butter. Max it out every time you upgrade your gear. The higher it is, the stronger your skills get. Period. Skills life leech heals your Outrider for a percentage of any damage dealt by using your skills. Each gear can have a maximum of 4.49% skill life leech, making a total of 22.45%. This means that if you hit for 1000 damage, you get 224.5 HP back. This doesn't only apply to anomaly damage, but also to status damage as well. Basically, once you activate Cyclone Slice, you can't die, especially if you can mitigate the damage the NPCs are doing. The third is cooldown reduction. This attribute allows your Trickster skills to be up and available as fast as possible so you can spam your skills and end enemy confrontation as quick as possible. Each gear can get up at a maximum of 7.49%, allowing you to decrease your cooldown by as much as 37.45%, excluding the cooldown reduction you can get from the Trickster skill tree and mods. These 3 are the basic tenets of a sword-wielding Reaver, so you can deal high amounts of damage, recover HP while getting your skill up and ready anytime one skill goes into cooldown. Currently, my gear is still incomplete, but I can already fight at challenge tier 14 simply because it's hard. It's hard finding these 3 attributes all together, you know? And if you do find gear with these attributes, sometimes the mod sucks. Up next is the skill tree. The pure Reaver pathway at first seems great during early game and during early challenge tiers up to challenge tier 9. But for the most difficult part of the game, you cannot rely on pure anomaly damage. You cannot rely on pure anomaly damage skill tree alone because monsters come in droves. Elites hit like a truck, and the straightforward river path suffers in survivability as it suffers from its DPS compared to the assassin counterpart. Let's face it, the assassin build holds the top spot for sheer raw damage and efficiency. But why make this video, right? I'm here to show you that Anomaly power build can take you to challenge tier 15 at gold, which is the only thing that matters. Back to the skill tree. In order for us to tank incoming damage, allowing us to survive, we have to branch out to the Harbinger skill tree. This will not only ensure that you have all the concentration nodes needed to increase your anomaly power by 42%, but also get the following perks. A melee skill that inflicts weakness. Weakness means a 30% damage reduction for 6 seconds, 10% max health, 15% increased resistance, 20% increased armor, 30% lower shield degradation, and 15% increased armor for each enemy within close range. When it comes to the Reaver skills, you're going to have 42% of increased anomaly power from concentrate, 10% increased resistance piercing, 15% decreased cooldown from the damage skills, 50% anomaly power boost for anomalic acceleration, 50% anomaly power boost for combat shield timeline, and 30% anomaly power boost from a melee attack. Moving on to the mods. Here are some of the mods that I have been using that propelled my challenge tier to 15. There are 2 mod categories in this build, the offensive and the defensive mods, and I recommend these mods as a must in order for this build to be effective. Here are your offensive mods: Wind Slash, Slasher, Duration, Untamed Power, and Shield Zap. Cyclone Slice suffers from a lack of damage output, so Wind Slash is essential to supplement, and Duration adds 5 more seconds to that skill. Slasher allows you to spam Temporal Blade twice before it goes into cooldown. Untamed Power boosts your skill damage as a separate AoE every time you unleash your skills and your melee attack. The damage is also based on 30% of your total anomaly power. So for example, if you cast Temporal Blade, so as you can see, watch this value increase after I cast Temporal Blade, right? So this mod is so dynamic that as you increase your anomaly power while spamming all your skills, the damage also increases. Shield Zap also adds to your DPS, especially because you'll find your shield up most of the time, and Shield Zap damages 2 enemies close to you at random. I know it says that it has a 5-second cooldown, but in my experience, that is not the case. In fact, shield spawns electric shocks most often than you think. I estimate at about 2 to 3 seconds. Since we've already used up 5 mod slots for offense, the remaining 5 slots that I recommend for defense is as follows: Grand Bastion, Damage Absorber, Temporal Armor, Life of the Party, and Not Impressed. Grand Bastion in itself is an essential mod that allow you to mitigate damage by 40%, especially when you are spinning towards ranged enemies while covering the distance to get into their faces. It's a must-have in my opinion. Damage Absorber is a tier 2 mod that greatly increases your base armor and adds 10% resistance from anomaly attacks and status effects. While you can use the other tier 2 mod named Rejuvenation, I went with Damage Absorber since Rejuvenation requires you to meet certain conditions before you get the buff, and it only lasts for 8 seconds with a cooldown of 10. However, Damage Absorber stays online no matter what. Temporal Armor is a tier 3 Trickster mod that you can acquire from purchasing the boots from Tiago. This mod increases your armor for 50 to 400%, depending upon how many NPCs are affected by your temporal blade for 8 seconds. All you need to do is hit as many NPCs as you can with the temporal blade and you are unkillable for the next 8 seconds. Life of the Party is another tier 3 mod. I got this from deconstructing the Edge of Time gloves. Incoming damage is reduced by 3% for each enemy in close range, so stacks up to 8 times. That's 24% of damage reduction max. In lower challenge tier, this might not come in handy since NPCs die quickly and you are left with only 3% damage reduction from the last one standing boss. But in the more difficult challenge tiers, NPCs who jump in your direction while you are fighting the boss are pretty much tanky, allowing you more than 3% of that damage reduction at a seemingly longer period of time, as you can see in this video. Finally, Not Impressed is a tier 3 mod I got from the Cannonball Vest, and it reduces damage from elites by 25%. But what about weapons? Currently, I'm using a one-shot variation rifle with the mod Scrap Grenade that I got from a legendary AR purchased from Tiago. Scrap Grenade fires an AoE anomaly projectile after a reload. I told you I got bad aim, so to compensate, I use an AoE anomaly projectile every 1.4 seconds to clear out mobs if I don't feel like using my anomaly power. So here are my player stats in summary. I haven't upgraded my gear yet to level 50. I plan to farm for the Edge of Time set pieces in order to make this build stronger. Hopefully I get lucky, so I hope you get lucky too, so I can release another video improving on this build. So I hope you liked the video. Thank you for the support on my previous video, and I really appreciate all the comments. I plan to create more comprehensive content in the future. I hope you stick around. So that wraps it up. I hope you guys are doing well. Stay safe. I'm out.